If you don't have climate anxiety, you're not paying attention. But there's more to it than that. "40% of global emissions is the big deal. Buildings are a huge part of creating the climate crisis we're in, but they could be a big part of climate healing." Architects, engineers, everybody in the industry is stuck in a rut, doing what they did yesterday and last week, doing what everybody else is doing, and there's good reasons for that. There's also good reasons not to do that anymore. We are in a climate crisis. The rules are changing, building codes are changing, government policy is changing, buy clean provisions are all over the place now, where your customers are asking for climate-friendly solutions. Investors who put the money up to build things, they're looking at this too. They're going to be asking you to be looking at your carbon footprint and improving it. And then we have the next generation. Students are coming into architecture and engineering schools mostly getting nothing about climate-friendly design.
We have taken a look at architecture, at its roots and aesthetics.
They're still being taught the old things that I was taught decades ago. They want something better. And when they get out of school, they're going to be looking to work for firms that are progressive about climate, that are trying to do something to solve the climate crisis. There are basically three ways that we can turn the built environment around and turn it into a climate healing solution. The biggest one by far is to think about the buildings we already have and fix them up. Existing buildings all over the world, almost none of which were designed with energy efficiency in mind, and they're bleeding energy into the air all the time. In almost all cases, and we've studied this, keeping a building that you already have, some old downtown building, it's better for the historic fabric of the neighborhood that it's in. It's cheaper dollar-wise for you as the developer, and climate-wise, it's by far the least emissions. Keep the building, clean it up, give it an energy upgrade, fix up the old guys we've got. Second big one is, with new construction, it turns out that the stuff we build with matters a whole lot. Steel and concrete, for example, account for 12% of global emissions. It's a huge part of most buildings. Typically what we do is we scrape stuff out of the ground and then we mangle it around with fossil fuels and we cook it and we bake it and we grind it up and we move it around and we transport it across the world, and thus you get embodied emissions. We can turn that around real fast. A lot of people are working on how to make concrete and steel and everything else much, much lower carbon, and even carbon storing, where they actually absorb carbon in their manufacture. Hemp, waste straw from the farmer's field, bamboo. There's all sorts of products coming on the market now. Blocks, panels, insulation systems made with plants, simple small plants that store carbon, insulate well, and do everything you want a building product to do. The third way is really kind of all of the above. When you build anything, build it to the highest energy performance standards that you possibly can, so it needs very little input in order to keep everybody comfortable inside. Pay a lot of attention to the materials and products you build with, the concrete and the steel and the glass and everything else, so that you have the lowest possible carbon footprint. And then even go beyond zero, go past that. To use carbon storing materials for your insulation, for your siding, for your flooring, all sorts of things, where you can store so much carbon in the building that it's a net carbon absorber, and the whole built environment can become like a carbon sponge. It's like all the smoke from the smokestack going back into the ground. How cool is that? Everybody in the construction ecosystem, and it's a big and complicated one, no matter where you are, a framing carpenter, a plumber, you're putting the roof on the building, every one of us can ask the right questions, push for lower carbon, be thinking about climate. You can only make the best decisions if you have access to the best resources. That's why we're here. We're BuildWell. We're developing videos and teaching resources to make building beyond zero the new business as usual. Follow us, share us with your network, and become part of the BuildWell community.